Oh, he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Heavy Metal Customs. Today we're back on the 78 Dodge Warlock, and we're going to be starting our install of our Holley Sniper EFI system. And what we're going to do in this video is show y'all steps that we take in order to get this system installed and get it installed right, where we'll have no problems with it in the future. Here is the system that the gentleman brought in. A picture of the box. Sniper EFI fuel kit included in this. We've got the pump, all the fittings, filters, hoses, and then we don't need that in there. Then we have our actual EFI system itself. In this box right here, he got the gold anodized, which y'all will get to see later. But the big thing is getting set up for this. And first of all is fuel supply and fuel return. These two are very important. So what Casey has went ahead and done off camera here is he has taken the old fuel lines off. The old fuel lines were 5/16, and that's just not going to work for this system. It has to be 3/8. And the reason I say that, we want the pump pull in properly like it's supposed to from the proper size lines. And that return, what was it, Casey? No more than 3 psi of back pressure?
Yeah, if you're pulling 3 psi, you got too much restriction.
There you go. So we're running a 3/8 line back like it's designed for. And as you see, Casey's already pulled the gas tank as well. And why did we do that? Well, let me show you. All right, here's a tank and here's the sending unit. We have our outlet here, 3/8, that's fine. This was the old return. For one, it's 7/16. You're not going to find a 7/16 fuel line. So, to keep this all 3/8 and to keep it right, what we're going to do, we have a fitting over there for the fuel return system. We're going to come in here and cut this off, cut it there, drill that out, and put that fitting in there. And then it will come all the way down into the tank. And that would have been another issue. See how short this is from actually getting down to the bottom of the tank? That would have aerated the fuel to death. And that's not a good thing. And actually Holley, the one that cautions that as well. So next thing we're going to do, like I said, we're going to cut these off, get this fitting in there. Trying to hold this up here where y'all can see it. Where'd the fitting go, Casey? Here it is. It's this 90-degree fitting right here. That's what goes in there. A couple of the small fittings. Then you have this flexible tube that'll basically go up on there and just sit down at the bottom of the tank like that. That way we'll have no aeration issues. Alright, you ready to rock with this, case?
Sure.
Alright, I'm sure whatever he's doing right now, he's sanding a dash. Well, I mean, is there any way I can tear you away from that engrossing work that you're doing there?
But I'm almost done.
Well, you're doing a good job. Alright, let's give Casey a few more minutes on that, then we'll get into our EFI stuff. Alright, got that cut off of there. And you see we got that drilled out. Yes, I did use a Dremel to clean it up and deburr it with a nice stone on there. So that works perfect. The way you do it, drop it down here with the washer. And you go underneath. There's another washer. And put the nut on there, which is, what'd I say, 22? Mm-hmm. All right, go ahead and snug that one up, Case.
I gotta loosen it a little bit first. Just a wee bit.
And what Casey's doing is trying to get it to exit out where the other line was, because we know we can get at it good once the gas tank's back in the truck. Still enough room for your electric?
Yeah, not a big electric.
Alright, got her?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now we have these ends right here. Guys, we do not need Teflon tape these because they actually go onto a taper. Well, that one's close, ain't it?
Yeah.
See if it's going to fit. And these are an 18 millimeter. Is it tightening up?
Yeah, she's tightening up. It'd be a pain to tighten up, but yeah, she's tightening up.
Good deal.
It's getting tight quick.
Another more positive lock, and then one goes on the bottom, of course. Alright, now grab a hose clamp, and that goofy thing should just slide up on there, I assume.
I don't know about just slide, but
Yeah, it goes up on there with a ton of force, apparently. Wow, that probably won't even need a hose clamp once it gets up there.
I doubt it.
Alright, let's piddle with that. Alright, in case you got that on there and clamped, it just took a lot of pushing. Now, I have to reinsert this back in here, and here's the trick with that. When you put it back in, what you want is this lay on the bottom of the tank to go the opposite way of your float. Do that and you'll be golden. Now that we have the tank reinstalled and everything else pretty much ready to rock and roll, it's time to start setting up the rest of our fuel system. Right now Casey's doing a mock-up with the actual fuel pump and the filters. We have a filter that goes before and a filter that goes after the pump. And there are two different filters in here per the directions. That smaller filter that Casey has in his hand right now, that goes before the pump. Yeah, clamps help.
Yep.
You got the arrow going the right way?
Yes, sir.
Where's the arrow?
Flow.
No, arrow's on Netflix. See, he don't even know nothing. Alright, and then of course at the end of the pump will be that bigger, the bell, what I call a bell type filter. So we're going to get that set up and set up inside the frame and figure out where we're going to put our brackets to hold our pump. Alright guys, here's the setup that we got here. And that's how we like it. Still serviceable. The electrics are right here where we can hook on and go with them. So what I'm going to do is hold this up here. It says that the lowest, it's got to be below the tank, is what they're saying. And this right here is probably about our best bet. That's the lowest spot that we can get it. And still you can get at it and service the filters and get to the electrical. Alright, you like that right there, Case?
Sure.
Alright, go ahead and get you some holes punched in there. Not all the way through. Alright, if that didn't leave a mark, nothing will. Alright, you got a spider right there.
Yeah.
He can be your friend. And if you notice, we left the ends on, so we won't get no trash in the filters. Just a little safety. It come with these little screws right here. So what I'm assuming, you drill them out, and we're just going to have to tap them holes and see how it holds. Alright, you got your drill? Alright, rock and roll. Alright guys, got that assembly bolted up. And I'm going to tell you, the little screws, where did one of them little screws go? Yeah, this is the hardware they give you to bolt that up. Them things are junk. We just drilled everything out a little bit more, took some 5/16 bolts and nuts and put in there. We know that'll hold. Our metal tubing finally come in, got a 25-foot roll. And what I've got as far as supplies, a tubing cutter, my flaring tool, and my little old cheapy handheld bender. Doing this thing in your hand just doesn't work so great. I'm trying to clamp it here and see how that works. But I'm figuring I can just come in here, go in, yeah, not too terrible, not too terrible. But that's what I'm going to use to bend my tubing with. So what I'm going to do is basically start at the gas tank and come over and down to our filter and pump assembly, and then go from there up. I'll do the inlet first, and then we'll do our return second. But basically just bend it along the contours of where I need to bend. Once I get something done, I'll show y'all, how I bent it and how I got it in there. Alright, here's our first line that we have bent. Yeah, not too shabby. Get that flare on there. On both ends, just the same. Now we'll go ahead, this goes up in there like that. Let's go ahead and get this installed and I can show you how that works out. Let me bring you under the truck. Alright, hopefully y'all can see this okay. The biggest thing, getting it wiggle jiggled in here. Just wiggle jiggle. Well, there we go. Yeah, I should have done this before I put the exhaust on, shouldn't I? That's okay. But there's a clip up in here. Right here. This line will clip into. It's going to be a pain to get it in there, but it does clip in there. Not that clip, because I just broke it in half. Alright, we're going to have to make our own clips, apparently. But as you can see, or hopefully you can see, line comes right out here. This is what goes to our inlet on our fuel tank. And then this line right here, we'll go ahead and get our piece of rubber hose and get that hooked up to our fuel filter. And here we have it. If y'all can see it, that one will go from there to the tank. That's the inlet. Comes across. Now you see it comes out. Down and connects. Then come out of all of this. Connect that rubber hose there to our other new line, which runs along our frame and the factory connections. And then comes up to there. And we can tag off of that and head on up. Well, that turned out well. Now let's work on the return line. Alright guys, got both our fuel lines installed. As you can see right here. I've got this nice little holder made up. We've got to bracket it up against the frame. That'll hold them from rattling. It looks like both of them go up. And as you can see, exit right up there. That'll be your inlet. And the lower one is our outlet. Got them run through. Gone up. Now our return line here, we're going to have to do a little more bending on it to get it to conform and go up there to the firewall for the return. But basically we got these going pretty good. Now what we're going to do is go through and get all of our holders taken care of, get it hooked up at the tank. Any spots like this where we think there might be, it might rub or something like that, we're going to take some more hose and go over top of this just for a little extra protection. A little insurance never hurt nothing. Next thing I'm going to do, I have this harness here from the kit. And as you see, we've got the blue wire. This is our fuel pump positive. Comes out of this relay here. So I'm just going to slosh this stuff in here where it'll sit still. Take this wire and see if I can not tangle it up any more than what I already have, and drop it down here, and we'll get our fuel pump done up. Let me see where we want to run this at. I'm just going to go down here right below the heater hose, then down to the inside of the frame. If I can get it down in there. Alright, it should be able to pull enough from the bottom to get that there. So let's raise it up and let's make them two connections. We'll do the height, and then we've got to make our own little ground loop from it to the frame bolt. Alright, under the truck, here's our blue wire. Run it through here. Yeah, plenty of wire. And then we got, I can't see which one's positive and which one's negative. Okay, the outside's positive, the inside's negative. Alright. So what we're going to do, we'll basically take an eyelet, put that one on the positive, and I'll put some heat shrink around it. And then I'm going to make as a ground wire. Let it go from the inside one, and then it'll loop around here to this bolt nut on the frame. It should work perfect. And that's got that. See, there's our height. These are grounds on the inside. I got it looped over to a bolt in the frame. So that should be a good connection. Now, once everything's said and done, we'll go over here and get that wire put where it needs to be and some loom or what have you. Alright guys, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this plug out of here. This one. That is a water jacket. And put in the temp sensor that came with the kit. Alright guys, now I'm going to place the throttle body on here. I've done cleaned all this off, so she's ready to rock. It does come with a gasket, like so. Alright, let's grab our throttle body, set her on. Make sure you get all this started good, don't need no cross threading going on. Alright, we'll get all the four of these in there and get this tightened down properly. Alright guys, throttle body's bolted on and good. We've got the kick down rod down there. Worry about that stuff later. I went ahead and plugged up this temp sensor. I think this one goes to the oxygen sensor. Not worried about it right now. Here's why I went ahead and bolted that on. Well, it needed to be on, but like I say, I've got all this wire in here. Remember, we run the blue wire down to the pump. So, I want to know where I can put all of this. I have got to put these two, screw them in somewhere. This is the main, yeah, this is our main harness connector right here. Let's reference and see what the yellow, oh, it says it right on it, duh. Coil negative input. Now the coil's way over there. We have to extend that one. And the pink, place we've got the pink, that one. What is this? Crank signal ground, crank signal positive. We don't have a crank sensor, so I don't even think we use them. Let's go to the page here. Yeah, I'm actually looking in the book, believe it or not, guys. Yeah, crank signal not used. Okay, so we have a coil input, that's our yellow. And then the pink. Switch ignition 12 volt. Must remain powered during cranking. Okay, so that can go pretty much anywhere. So if we put these back there, then the only thing we'll have to extend out is our coil wire, which I bet you we can find where it is in here and splice into it, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Just in a way, I hate putting them way back there. What have you got? A relay and a big fuse. I reckon if you have to change them, you're just going to have to stretch back there. But let me figure this out. I'm going to fiddle around with these a little more, figure out what my distance is so I can hot and negative my battery up. Then we'll see what I come up with. The next step I done, y'all can see I screwed them into the firewall back there. It's that main harness feed. Then brought the positive and negative down through here, over here to my battery. That worked out great. Got the oxygen sensor run up and over and connected right there. Still got to deal with this wire and harness. You got the yellow and the pink hooked up. We didn't put on the main feed fuel line. We still have to do one for the return from here to down there. And then the main feed coming up here into this extra filter he has. Now Casey went ahead and took, remember this big wire and harness was over here to the alternator. He shortened it up, come down through here, and got all of them fittings. That looks really nice. That cleaned it up a lot. Really like that. So I've got also kick down linkage. I had to make a rod for that, as you can see, with a spacer to where it would work right. Same way with throttle linkage. You see I had to bring it out here all the way, maxed out on the adjustment. I had to actually space this up. Then I just took a bolt. As you see, I ground it. Got a clip pin and a washer on there. But as far as function, it works perfect. There's your throttle. Now we're into passenger gear linkage. And that is full throttle, so everything works fine without any binding up. And the gas pedal's nice and easy to push. Not a hard pedal or anything like that. It's really smooth. Alright, so here's where I'm at now. Oh, I've redone that inlet hose. Goes on the opposite side. Yeah, I had it on the wrong side. You see the rubber hose there. That is the return. But I've got pretty much all the wiring done. Got the yellow, got the pink, got that blue one cut. It's run down there and wire loom down through the frame. Really nice. Got the wires shoved back there. When I'm 100% sure everything's functioning perfect, I'll take that wire and harness, may make like a rubber boot or something, slide it into and zip tie it. Just something to protect it better on the back side of that motor. But for now, we're just going to leave it as is in case we have some issues. I've yet to put the positive and negative on the battery. We'll be waiting on that. I reckon the next thing that I can probably do is get the screen installed. See that connector right there? That's where the screen goes. And here it is right here. This little plastic case. Slips up. And then you got a nice screen for all your stuff. It does come with a stylus and some little pads and what is that, an alcohol pad to clean it so you can get the little stickies somewhere. Well, let's go inside the truck and figure out where the best place would be to put this. Alright, I just slid the plastic pad dash piece in. If it fits good, I'll give it that. Got to find the proper screws and got to work on that finish some. I'm just not happy with it. But anyway, the sniper, yeah. If it was mine, I'd want that sniper right here in front of my face where I could see it. I mean, you're driving, you're looking at all your gauges, you can look over and see that. Yeah, I think that's where we're going to plan on mounting it. Let me figure out how we're going to run this big wire without cutting up the dash piece. Well guys, upon doing some editing, as I edit the next morning. I know this video is getting pretty long. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and call it for this one. We've got a lot done, and pretty much everything's hooked up. We've got a couple small items to do. So, come here, Bullet. So, we got the almighty Bullet who's got green stuff on him. That's not attractive. And so Bullet's going to help us out, and we're going to get this thing knocked out. So, look for a part 2 on the Holley Sniper EFI system. And in part 2, we'll get the rest of the stuff sewed up. We're going to check the engine out, pull all the plugs, find top dead center, blah, 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 set timing, and all this stuff. Do a pressure test on all of our lines to make sure we don't have no leaks. Then, we finally get to start the thing up and see what she sounds like. But, I mean, that's a process you got to go through. Better safe than sorry, and you just want to do it right. Well, everyone, appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you would, throw down some comments. And please, like, share, and subscribe. And if you're able, hit that super thanks down there. It'll sure help us out a lot. Again, very much appreciated. Until the next one, well, that everyone has a fantastic day. Did you tell everybody bye? You ain't even looking at the camera, dude. Hold on.
And that's what you put it in at the end of your outro.
Tell everybody bye. Okay.